Hello, hello, hello.
My name is Rory. I'm being dancing. Oh my god, it's a very achievers.
So this is Serena Basecki. Serena is the speaker who can't speak and the writer who can't write. Serena's whole job is to motivate you, to inspire you, to just empower you to reach your goals. That's what he likes to do. That's what he lives for. And that's what he's here talking about today. Right. So for the last, 2 weeks? Yeah, so like the last 2 weeks, Serena's been talking about setting priorities. But you're probably wondering, who's this woman who's sitting next to Serena? Yeah, so my name's Jamila Doolin, and I just kind of help Serena bring his story to life. So, there you go. Right, so for the last few weeks we've been talking about what?
What are your priorities?
Right, we've been talking about your priorities and what they are.
But in order to read it, you need concrete priorities.
Right, so in order to live an amazing life, you need
concrete priorities.
Yeah, you need concrete priorities.
And you need concrete priorities in all facets of life.
Right, and those concrete priorities, well, you need those in all facets of your life.
You don't have concrete priorities in all. You're not going to achieve amazing.
Right. So if you don't have concrete priorities in all facets of your life, you're just not going to be able to achieve your goals.
You might achieve more aspects, but you're not overall.
Right. So what Serena said was you might be able to achieve, say, one aspect of your goals, but you're probably not going to be able to achieve your goals overall.
We got the four
Right, so Serena calls these the 4 buckets are priorities.
And the 13th is different.
Right, and so we're going to do a quick recap, you said?
Yes.
And then we'll start on the third one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started.
The 4 buckets are priorities.
So the 4 buckets are professional priorities.
What do you need to do to get a job?
Which are what you need to do in order to achieve at your job, in order to succeed at your job.
And then put it priorities.
Yeah, then there's your personal priorities.
What do you do for your friends at your job?
Yeah, these are the things that you need to do for your friends, things you need to do for your family, and of course, things you need to do for yourself.
And the third one we go over into the growth.
Right, and the third one, and that's the one we're going to go over today, that's personal growth.
And the one that we're going to go over is miscellaneous priorities.
Yeah, and next week we're going to go over miscellaneous. So the things that didn't fit into the other 3 buckets, we're just going to kind of, I don't want to call it the junk drawer priorities, but it's kind of where the other things don't fit.
It's like maintenance
Kind of like maintenance on your life. But we'll talk more about that next week. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, so these are your growth priorities that we're talking about this week. Right, so this is Serena's favorite topic because honestly, this is what he does. Yeah, motivation, inspiration, goal achievement. So Serena, when you say growth priority, what is that?
What motivation as a human being?
Alright, so when Serena says growth priority, he means simply things that grow you as a human being.
You can't just raise up a Muslim, spiritually, and you keep raising.
Right. So Serena said these are things that will help you grow emotionally. These are things that will help you grow physically. These are things that will help you keep your body in shape, because we are, as beings, we are the mental, we are the physical, and we are the spiritual. So these are the things that fit mental, spiritual, and physical.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, what Serena says, a lot of people ignore these priorities.
They don't and they took care of us to immediate.
Right. What Serena just said was these are people, a lot of times people will do things in their early 20s and they'll fill up this area, they'll grow themselves emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and they'll do it a lot in their 20s. And then they think that's supposed to carry them through until the day they're no longer here.
And that was when we were up, but not now.
Yeah, that just doesn't work.
You need to my benefits.
Right. What Serena said, look, you just have to grow yourself. You need to grow your mind, you need to grow your body, you need to grow your spirit.
And then they are high school and soft skills.
Yeah, and then in that, there's your hard skills and your soft skills.
Yeah, what do you need to do? What do you need to do what do you need to do to achieve goals?
Alright, so what Serena said was that you've got to think about what do you need to do that's going to help you with your career, what do you need to do that's going to obviously help you with your goals.
What are the skills that they need to achieve your career goals?
What are the skills you need
to
achieve your professional goals?
And the other one is soft skills.
And then the other part are the soft skills.
I don't think that's true. I believe that soft skills are way more good than hard skills.
Right. So Serena said he doesn't really like the term soft skills because in his view, the soft skills are actually, they're definitely as important, if not more important, than what people consider to be hard skills.
Okay. Anybody can learn hard skills.
Yeah, he said anybody can learn the hard skills.
But you have the endurance to execute your goals.
But the question is, do you have the discipline? Do you have the maturity? Do you have the mindset to achieve your goals? And those are the so-called soft skills, the metaphysical skills, those types of things.
Yeah, I like how we can be in communication and all of the
Right. What Serena said was like, look, an example of this might be, communication is kind of a soft skill, but, nonetheless, it's a skill that you need. Do you have it? Can, something like that, correct? Yeah.
That's fun in the guy with pushing growth.
And that would fall into the category of...
It's got a deep one in the category of pushing growth.
So all of this falls into the category of... You want to move into personal growth?
No, growth. The category of growth.
Oh, you want to talk about the categories of personal growth?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry about that. So I guess what you want to talk about next are the categories related to personal growth. What would those be, Serena?
The one is career development.
What kind of development?
Career development.
Career development.
What are the necessary for your career?
Right. So the question then is, what are the skills that are necessary for your career?
For the examiners.
For
The examiners.
for a lawyer,
Examiners.
it's keeping up with
The new laws.
the new laws. Okay.
What an accountant is keeping up with the new tax laws.
Yes, for a tax accountant, it would be keeping up with the new tax code.
For an entrepreneur, it's the marketing. I just get the marketing, the financing.
Right. So for an entrepreneur, it's just keeping up with everything that is required of you to keep up with for your business to run.
Now, I got a degree in marketing almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, you got it. So you have a 20-year-old degree in marketing.
Almost.
20 years. Yeah, you're not going to say it's 20 at this point. Almost 20.
Yeah. I before my job marketing. Now the things that I do right now, I'm yes.
And so none of the things that you do right now
I'm consistent yet. I'm not consistent.
Oh, it hasn't been consistent yet?
Because
Oh, yes. Okay. So what Serena is saying is this. So Serena has a degree in marketing. It's 20 years old or close to 20. And thing is this. When he went to school, the things that he's doing now hadn't even been thought of, more or less done. So you have to continuously grow yourself, right? And keep relearning.
There were no people that. There were no people that.
No, there was no Facebook. Was there MySpace?
No.
Yeah, there was, you know what? You're right. There wasn't even MySpace back then.
Yeah.
Huh?
The thing I do now, the way I finish right now is how you can do it when I got
Yeah, so Serena said, look, the way he does business, not even possible when he graduated. Can I make you feel a little better there?
Yeah.
When I graduated, the internet was just getting started. I mean, of course there were, some ways it started going, but it was really, my husband built something related to the internet for our college. And we graduated the same year. Does that tell you how long?
I went a week after I graduated high school.
The first time you went online was a week after you graduated high school. Okay. So when I graduated high school, we were still, I graduated in 90. It's a long time ago.
We were the people, I was on the side.
What now?
We were the people on the side.
The paper with the
holes on the side.
Oh my gosh, yes, the paper with the hole on both sides.
Yeah.
And you have to slide it in just like the dot matrix printer.
Yeah.
Yes. There are people watching us right now who have no idea what a dot matrix printer is. Consider yourself blessed. Yeah, look it up online. It would go, remember, and do you remember so of course before people had Google Docs, if you didn't put your disk in and save it periodically, you could risk losing all of your work. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Do you remember microfiche?
Microfiche?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Sure.
So we're sitting here going down memory lane, reminiscing about, I don't even know if we're having positive memories, but just remembering how things used to be. And if we were still in the space of microfiche and dot matrix printers and floppy disk, and that was still in a regular part of our vocabulary, we would be really behind. And that's what?
Yeah, honestly, the things have changed.
Yes, all these things have changed.
But the principle never changed.
The printer never changed?
The principle of
Oh, the principles, yes. So that's true. All of these things have changed. And the principles of life, the idea of having to keep up, that part hasn't changed.
I'm reading right now.
You're really,
I'm reading.
you're reading about this right now? Oh, right now Serena's reading Think and Grow Rich. Does anybody know when that was published?
1937.
1937.
But-
Old book.
But people are still valid today.
Right, but the principles from 1937 in Think and Grow Rich are still valuable today.
That is the next category.
And that brings you to your next category. Okay, which is
Principle of life.
the principles of life.
Yeah, there are things that if you do on a consistent basis are great for success.
There are some things that if you do them on a consistent basis, that's like super good for your success.
And the simple.
And these things, they're pretty simple.
Be nice.
Be nice.
Keep it in.
Say please and thank you. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Be committed to.
Be committed to
Your growth.
your growth, your goals.
Everything. I love you. Everything I love you.
Yeah, I don't know what you can see on the wall behind me, but the things that are up there. So like performance and persistence and hard work and dedication, commitment. You know, have a purpose, have a plan, produce it. Those types of things. Those things, you know, they might have been written about in 1937, but they're true even now. They were true before 1937. There's some things that just don't change. You know, Serena, you're making me think of my grandfather. And you've probably heard me talk about him a gazillion times. But he lived to be a little over 99 years old. So, and obviously in that time, he went from not seeing a car to, having like a mule and horses and things like that, to driving a car. He, flying on airplanes. Airplanes definitely were not mass produced. And then eventually he's flying on airplanes. So the whole point being, if he had not kept up with the changes of his life, the technical changes, he wouldn't have been able to be successful. He'd still be out there with a horse, or he would have still been out there with a mule trying to plow some land. You have to keep up, which is bucket number one. Bucket number two, even in that, there were some principles that never left him. The idea that you must work hard, that never left. It was such a part of him that he passed it down for 3 generations. Hard work, you must work hard. And that's what you're saying, right? So yeah, there's some things, these principles, they aren't things that just go away. It's the way life is. If you want to be successful, you have to keep up with what's going on in the world. But then there's also things that are just rules of life that don't change. If you want to be successful, you have to persist. Nothing's going to come easily. You have to keep plugging away at it. I'm sorry. I started preaching. Oh, well, thank you. Interpersonal skills?
Yeah.
Okay, what about them?
and the
Ah, that's the next category, interpersonal skills. All right, talk about it.
communicating.
Communication.
Our team, our growth.
Yeah, so Serena's team is not local necessarily. Some of it's local, but not all of it. Some of it's overseas, some of it's outside of the state. His team is just everywhere.
I can communicate with a lot of different people. My team, my guys.
Yeah, and you have to be able to communicate with all those people.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to make sure they can communicate with one another.
I'm communicating. I face with life.
Yeah, so right now Serena's communicating with people to help him with, what did you say? Facebook ads?
No, I'm communicating with our Facebook life. I'm communicating with
Yeah, Serena said he's communicating with his audience on Facebook Live. That would be you. So, again, hello.
Another thing is how do you deal with people?
How
To deal with people.
to deal with people, yeah.
There are to deal with people. Every person is different and every relationship is different.
Right. So Serena brought up something that we're often aware of, but we don't always think about. And that is, look, the people you deal with in this life are not uniform. They're all different. And the way you deal with them will have to be different. Can't deal with everybody the same way because all the people are different.
Next is how do you deal with challenges?
And so then the next thing is, how do you deal with your challenges?
Unfortunately, I don't manipulate it.
Yeah, so Serena has absolutely no credibility in dealing with challenges. As you can see, there are no challenges present in his life. And he just goes about life as if it were the good ship lollipop.
So, this is important because you might not really feel but we all have at least.
Right. So what Serena said was, and really now, yeah, you might not have, your challenges may not look like Serena's challenges, but there's a really good chance that if you're a living, breathing human being, that you have some challenges in this world. Yes. Yeah, and if you don't, that means probably not engaging in you're not trying enough. You have a challenge. You may not have taken the time to identify it, but there's, I would say, a 99.9% chance that you have one. Would you agree?
Yeah. The physical and my mental block, emotional anxiety, or anything in the way of your religion.
Right. What Serena said was this. Your challenge, it may not look like this. It may. So it might be a physical challenge. It might be some kind of a mental block. Maybe you have some kind of psychological barrier. Maybe you're afraid. Maybe you're anxious. Maybe you have an economic challenge. Whatever it may be, there is probably something in your life that you find challenging.
But understand it, how do you go to deal with it?
Right. But here's the thing. Knowing that most of us in this world have a challenge, you got to think about this. What are you going to do to grow yourself beyond that challenge?
Yeah. Okay. If you want
an amazing life,
you have to grow yourself.
It's simple. You have to grow yourself.
It might be skill development.
It might be a development of a skill.
It might be even your body, more energy during the day.
Yeah, it might be developing your body so that you have more energy during the day.
It might be communicating good,
Yeah, maybe it's your communication skills.
and maybe when you therapist to get over a psychological burden.
Right. Maybe you've had some issues that you need to discuss with somebody else, so maybe you need to see a therapist.
And
And we know that unfortunately, in some segments of our society, that this can have kind of a stigma attached to it. Don't worry about that. Do what you need to do. Take care of yourself.
Okay, next.
Next,
What are the modalities of personal development?
what are the modalities of personal development? Yes, please explain, Serena. What do you mean by that?
How do you go about developing yourself?
How do you go about developing yourself?
I have that everything. So I'm very familiar with this.
Alright, Serena said, look, he's familiar with this.
The first books,
Books.
you can read anything.
So true. What Serena said was, look, you can read a book about anything. Yeah, it's almost even better than YouTube. YouTube, you can see anything. But a book, you can go to the library, you can go online, you can find a book about almost anything.
I'm taking a book way to be that devout.
Yeah, you've got a set. Yeah, you have like a collection there.
I read an hour a day.
Read an hour a day.
Yes.
Such a blessing. How I wish I could read an hour a day.
The second one can be working on adapters.
Yeah, so the next one is like Serena does a lot of online classes. And so the idea is just to take classes online or whatever, right?
Other than that, I get what there's a you could get free online.
Yeah, there's a few sites where you can get some online training.
Okay, YouTube.
Oh, well, yeah, yours is called YouTube.
I YouTube everything.
Yeah, Serena YouTube's everything. But you know, it's so true when we say you can YouTube anything. I remember, so my stepmother was going in for a procedure, and she wanted to know what it was going to look like. So she said that she Googled it, and she sat down, and she was like, oh, so this is what they're going to do to me. She literally watched a surgical procedure on YouTube. So yes, you can YouTube anything.
Yeah. And you can follow experts on social media.
Yeah, you can find experts on social media.
If you want to bring it, go YouTube. I'm a guy.
Yeah, so if you want motivation, inspiration, goal achievement, Serena's on YouTube, you can find him.
If you want to save money, if you want to save money, follow Steve or Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, if you want to save money, go to Dave Ramsey. I mean, seriously, there you can find pretty much anybody talking about anything on YouTube. Like I said, even surgical procedures.
We are working with celebrity more than we follow.
What now?
We follow celebrities.
You do?
More in America.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people follow celebrities.
Did you follow top leaders?
Yeah, don't follow celebrities. Well, let me not tell you what to do with your time. But if you're going to follow a celebrity, at least balance it out by, say, following a thought leader or somebody who's actually going to grow you and not just want you there for your, for likes.
Yeah.
Something that you can get a benefit from.
a lot. Another thing I would is podcast.
Yes, I am a podcast junkie. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then the good thing about all this,
What's the good thing about all this?
you can do it on your phone. You can do everything on your phone.
Yeah, so much of this, thanks to Mr. Jobs, who's no longer here, but thank you. We now have something that fits into our hand, ever so nice and small, where you can do so much of this. And it's, portable and easily done and can be done in your free time, in those spare moments. So there you go. You can just use your phone and listen to your podcast, watch some videos, do whatever.
The last one is pretty clean.
The last thing is
Implementing.
in-person training.
Yeah. I love this week. Rather than recording a microphone.
Right. So Serena said, look, sometimes, all of this idea of, learning things by yourself is great, but sometimes you need to get together with others. So maybe you want to meet in person and go to a conference or some type of event, maybe a mastermind, maybe some coaching, things like that.
You are in a certain environment where you can help with anybody you want.
Right. So with this, you're in a what kind of environment?
You're in a conditioned environment to achieve any goals.
You're in an environment that's conducive to helping you achieve your
Yeah,
goals.
for example, if you if you have trouble getting to the gym,
If you're having trouble getting to the gym, that might be go to the gym.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have a gym membership that I find to be expensive. I don't know if other people find it to be expensive. I'm not going to give you the number, but it's a number that I find pricey. And do you know why I pay for that pricey gym membership? Exactly. I sat down and I figured out how many times I have to go per month in order to make that membership worth it, to get it down to a cost that seems reasonable. What's your story?
I follow Russell.
Oh yes, you follow Russell Brunson.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he got a $25,000 event.
He has a $25,000 event.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get free tickets to my friend and family.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody that can use any of our stuff.
So he gives free tickets to his friends and family, and they don't go.
No, they go where they use and
Oh, they go, but they don't use anything.
and the people that pay around go and use it.
People don't, and people what?
People that pay that money
People who pay that money
actually use it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my reason for going to the gym. I figured out how many times I have to go per month to get that to a cost where I feel like I have used it and I'm not wasting money. I do the same thing with clothes. When I buy an item of clothing that I find to be on the pricier side, I sit down and I figure out how many times I need to wear it in order to get it to a point where it's reasonable. And I call it a cost per wear.
Now you get why it's so important. Now you get why it's so important.
Why, what's so important?
For you.
Yes, so hopefully at this point, you know why personal growth is important.
So why is something about it?
So, yeah, now we know it's important, but the question is, if we know it's important, then why is it so easy to abandon it?
Most people never go to.
Are you serious? Even now?
Yeah, even now.
Well, I guess it makes sense because there's Amazon. Anyhow, what Serena said was that most people never go to the bookstore.
And most books don't get through the first chapter.
And then most people who buy books don't get through the first chapter.
Oh. There are two reasons I think that for learning that is so easy to abandon.
This is why you think personal development is so easy to abandon.
I'm going to give two reasons why.
These are your reasons, your theories as to why it's easy to abandon. Let's hear it.
It's not easy for me.
Yeah, so Serena's first reason is that, you get gratified, but it's not instant.
It might take you a year to get the results.
Yeah, it might take, say, a year to get the results.
Yeah.
And the results aren't always obvious. So you might be growing yourself. Let's say you're really working on your communication skills. You may not notice how you've improved your communication. It may not be so obvious to you, but to the people who have to deal with you, it might be a lot more obvious.
Yeah. And then there's a commitment of time, money, and
There's a commitment of time, money, and energy.
yeah. And in the moment, it doesn't feel like a fire. In the moment,
In that moment,
it doesn't feel like a fire.
it
It doesn't feel like the party.
doesn't feel like a priority.
Yeah. So that's what I'm like, what do I mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
So this is the schedule an hour morning to read.
So let's assume you schedule set an hour a morning to read.
And you might not hear that the results are slow.
Right, and let's say the results are slow because that's what happens sometimes.
And something else comes up.
Something else could come up.
Yeah. And we think that almost necessary for me to abandon my reading.
Yeah, and then at that point, it becomes easy to abandon your reading. Serena, you just hit on my life because we just talked about the gym, which I love going to.
Yeah.
But I have 2 children, and they play sports, and they have activities, and they have to go here and there, and they don't drive. So, what? You know where this is going. And since I am their Uber, a lot of times what I have to do gets put aside. So even though, hey, this is my gym time, it ends up shifting around to fit into those places. And sometimes it shifts to points of the day where I just can't, I don't physically have the ability to go. Like it would just be a waste.
And it's easier to partake in the
What now?
It's easy to partake in the
Yeah, that instant gratification thing again.
The thing about it. The thing about it.
Yeah, and you have a bad day.
What easier?
What do I do?
What's easier?
What's easier?
Grabbing a book, grabbing restaurant.
Grabbing a book, grabbing a chocolate, or grabbing a glass of wine? Oh, well, it depends on how bad the day is. But I hear what you're saying. Sometimes.
If you eat that chocolate or you get that wine, you feel better.
Yeah, if you eat the chocolate or you have the wine, you feel better pretty soon. If it's a particularly bad day, you might throw in a little retail therapy.
Yes. But the book feels like a chore.
But the book sometimes can feel like a chore. It can.
Yeah.
It can. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it gets easy to abandon things. It's just, maybe your schedule continuously gets thrown off. Maybe, there's an outside stressor that is impacting your mood that makes it difficult to stick to, to whatever routine you are developing to improve yourself. There's just all these things that can factor into it. Yeah, it's sad, but it's true.
Now, the growth of growth is making yourself more efficient.
The goal of growth is to make yourself
More efficient.
more efficient.
And be able to take on bigger and bigger challenges. Bigger and bigger.
What about bigger and bigger challenges?
Take on bigger.
And as you become more efficient, then you can take on bigger and bigger challenges.
And the bigger the question, the more development they have you.
The bigger the goal set,
The more development they have you.
the more development you have to do.
So, my job involves content creation,
Yeah, so Serena's job involves content creation,
video editing,
video editing,
content distribution,
content distribution,
and a sales process.
and the sales process.
I either have to develop my own development team member or be able to communicate.
Right.
Members.
Right, so you either have to develop it yourself, or you have to be able to communicate with team members in order to get these things done.
Or to me.
Or train people to help you.
And I like those.
Yeah, and that's true, that's a lot of skills.
And even when I was 100% outsourced or something, even when I was outsourced something,
Even when you don't want to ask for something,
outsourced,
even when you don't want to outsource something,
even when I was outsourced,
even when you do want to outsource something,
I had to have the communication skills to communicate what I need the process.
you have to have the communication skills to communicate what you need
And
and then lead the process.
Yeah. And the things take years.
And those things take skills.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. For example, I have to organize my mind what I need for my team.
Right? In your case, like when you talk to your team, you have to know what you need from them and be able to communicate that.
My job is to give them the skills and resources and time
Right. You have to give them the skills, the resources, and the time
and the direction
and the direction
to get what I want.
to get what you want.
So because I cannot meet with my team members.
Right. That gets them going so they can do what they need to do.
I can't go up to my team. I can't go up to my team.
You can't go up to your team.
The team members.
Right? You can't go ask them just to make you rich.
Yeah, I have to go. I need help with this is what I need to do. This is how can I help you?
Right? You can't just go ask them what they need and tell them what you need and expect for them to be able to execute. It takes a little more than that.
The more skills that are required.
The last thing is the more skills that are required.
The loftier the goals.
The loftier the goals.
The more skills are required.
So the loftier the goals, the more skills are required.
There's a combination of high school and soft skills.
There's like a combination of hard skills and soft skills.
You need to be able to develop yourself.
Yeah, and you've got to be able to develop yourself.
Yeah. One last
One last thought.
Back when we were kids, back when we were kids.
Alright, so back when we were cave people, Serena?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Back when we were cave people. We're going that far back.
yeah, we were taught
We would have thought,
to scour for threats.
yeah, exactly. We had to be on the lookout for threats at all times because threats were always present.
And when human beings did not change the mindset.
I'm sorry?
Human beings did not change their mindset.
And so you're saying that basically part of that still remains within us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of, with all the messages coming at us,
And with all the messages coming at us,
we are bombarded by more negative messages outside of us.
I'm sorry?
We might be looking for negative messages
We're always looking for the negative message
presented
presented
by negative messages. By negative messages.
by negative messages
Yeah. And then
in the media.
I find something of them.
Oh, our brain's always getting those. It hears those first, the negative messages. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you guys get that? What Serena's saying is that because we were taught to always look, or not we were taught, it's in us naturally to be on the lookout for the negative, the threats in our lives, that our brains are now, they're still like that, wired that way somewhat. And so now we cue in on the negative messages that come at us, like say the media, social media, wherever, and that's what we pick up on first.
Yeah, what we talk about is being with fire messages.
And what about positive messages?
We need to free our brain.
We need to
Free our brain.
free our brain of the negative messages.
We
We need to feed our brain
Yeah.
a lot of positive messages to counteract
Yeah.
those negative ones that we so easily pick up on.
Yeah. And then we partake
And so when we partake
in personal development.
when we partake in personal development,
It's like taking over, eating over.
yeah, it's like taking a shot of vitamin P positivity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because every time I get confidence, I read a book. I get inspired. I go, okay, let's go.
Right. So in your case, you read books. That's your shot of positivity. For somebody else, they might have a person around them that gives them that shot of vitamin P, and then makes them.
I'm running on a gym. Running on a gym.
Yeah, maybe for you, your shot of positive of vitamin P is the treadmill, and you come out and you have that. Those endorphins are going, and you have that sense of euphoria. And there you go. Now you feel like you can conquer the world.
Maybe to do maybe.
Yeah, maybe for someone that's a coach. Maybe it's playing with your kids after being around your children. You're like, all right, you know what? I just handled that. I can handle anything. Or because of them, I have to be able to handle anything.
What I did as a coach is well, okay. I want you to be like this. I want you to get that.
Right. So when you're coaching, you get people to think about the positive things.
Yeah. That's my job.
That's your job.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright, I can't believe we're almost 1 hour now.
Yeah, it's been almost an hour.
Yeah. By the way, I gave you a meeting with my.
Yeah, it's time for you to go.
I got a meeting with my team members.
Yeah, you're gonna practice that communication with your team members a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be there.
You know what? To all of you who watched, we really thank you. And you know what else? We want you to go have an amazing day. Thank you again, and go be amazing. Okay.